Hello, hello, this is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. So, welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Thank you for being here. So, again, lots of things going on. Like I never start my updates saying so. And, at this point, I don't think nobody is surprised about the amount of energy, of new energies that we are receiving. Um, the eclipse are coming in June 5th, June 21st. And if you've been following my last few videos, this is the first time that I'm able to say on what day they are actually happening. And June 5th, June 21st. So can you imagine just for a second how powerful these eclipses are going to be? Especially the June 21st one. That's a total game changer for everyone collectively, for twin flames, for everyone, every little person, every individual alive on earth today. So talking about twin flames, so many things happening on the divine masculine side. They are healing, they are releasing, they are working super hard. So if we look at both ends of the spectrum, some of them are not even aware that they are releasing so much. And at the other end, a lot of them are now aware of what's going on, of what's playing out in their lives, and they are making more sense of themselves, of their lives, of their behaviors, of those feelings that they cannot shake off. For a lot of them, if not most of them, work is being done on the heart chakra. But the one in the back, the one closer to the spine, which is the one where we receive love. So that's a really good news because a lot of them are getting ready and getting prepared to be able to receive love, the kind of love that they want. And perhaps you're feeling this as well. I know a lot of divine feminine, well, a lot of people that are twin flames do embody physical pain or physical sensation that are coming from their connection or coming from the collective. Anyone, this can happen to anyone. It's just for some people, it's a hard concept to grasp because they don't believe it can be true, but it really is happening for a lot of people. It's happening for me. It has been happening for years and years and years. It took me years to understand where these feelings were coming from. And in my case, it manifests as physical pain. You've probably heard me talk about my back before. It's of a spiritual source. It's not mental, it's spiritual. It's coming from somewhere in the field. And for many, many years, I was in the dark. I didn't know what it was until I got awakened to the twin flame stuff. That was before meeting my twin. That was years before meeting my twin that I understood that it was not coming from me, that it was coming from outside, and that it meant something. I just didn't know what it meant. And I'm starting to see more and more people talking about this, and it feels great because I know a lot of people are suffering from all kinds of physical issues that have no medical source or roots, and they're kind of lost. So my best advice when it comes to this is go deep within to figure out where this stuff is coming from. And if it's coming from a twin flame connection, you will be shown if you're ready to see it. You will be shown. And then you will be delivered instruction on how to deal with this if you consult with your higher self, with your soul, with your heart. You will be delivered step-by-step instructions on how to deal with this. And why am I talking about this? Because more and more people are coming out with their stories stating how physically they now understand what's going on. That's because of the work of the Divine Masculine. That's because of the work that they've been doing. And really, thank you, Divine Masculine, for doing this work and for keep going at it, for keeping at it. We need this as a collective. They are, like I mentioned before in my previous videos, waking up into their divine feminine more, and they are working on balancing the two energies that they have within. Lately, in the past few days, lots of past life healing has been done from the Divine Masculine, and for some of them it was unconscious. They didn't know it was going on, and for some of them they knew. They got the images, they did it on purpose through a past life regression. They released lots of traumatic events from past lives. And for a lot of them, it was done consciously, which is a first for many. And that perhaps reflected back on the Divine Feminine as a relief, like what could feel like instant relief of something, especially towards the heart chakra, the one in the back, close to the spine. You probably felt like a new sensation there, some tingling, something opening up there. And if you look just a little deeper into this, you probably could relate it to your twin flame connection. They've also been working on getting ready for whatever is coming up with this I don't want to use the word, but with this virus and going back to work in any way that they can. They've been hit hard for a lot of them during this confinement, and a lot of cities are now starting a plan to, restart economy and restart people's lives, because we've all been affected, even the ones that were able to still work from home. And it served the purpose for a lot of Divine Masculine. They were able to finally sit down and meet themselves at levels they couldn't reach before because they were too busy working, too busy providing, too busy trying to please the karmic. And now they were able to see clearly and see what needed to be let go of, what needed to be released, healed, and what they want. And that is very powerful on its own. And it kind of activated the mirror effect, the reflection, and the ripple effect on the Divine Feminine. Perhaps if you are a Divine Feminine, you have been receiving a bunch load of downloads, new information, symbols, synchronicities, new visions, signs, communication from your twin on the spiritual level, but on the physical level as well, because all this dynamic is changing. What is left in the Divine Masculine field, energetic field, is mostly fears and doubts, and finding the courage within to make the situation right, because for a lot of twin flames, it ended in a miscommunication. It ended by a situation where, one twin ran away and never returned any calls or texts or emails. And they've had all this time now to ponder upon this and to realize, well, you know what? That's not a big deal. That's not a big issue. And for some, they were even able to laugh at themselves about their behavior, about the way they behaved with the Divine Feminine, and seeing the other side of the story, seeing the feminine side, how most Divine Feminine were coming at them with no bad intentions, but only loving intentions. And they just couldn't accept that. They weren't ready to receive that kind of energy, so they had to close down. And not too long ago, 2 days ago, over the weekend, for a lot of them, they were thinking about some specific times where they reacted in a way that they couldn't control. It was a physical reaction of a burst of energy that they felt for the very first time in their lives, and they were afraid of that. And they're now moving on to the next step of releasing that fear, those doubts. And guess what? That's going to come into manifestation with the eclipse. Those two eclipses, especially the last one of June, are game changers for everyone. And when I say game changers, sorry, I wish I could paint or make you hear what kind of changes. It's a very potent, energetic shift, a shift in consciousness. I know we all say that all the time, but it's a shift that is there to stay. It's a shift to erase or heal the past for good. Of course, it always depends where you're at or where they are at on their spiritual path. The more you have cleared, the more you have healed, the bigger this change is. And if you're just starting, it may feel like a huge change. Remember that there are more coming and that you're going to be surprised each time you go through a gigantic shift like the one we're walking into in June. And for a lot of them, it's conscious. They know that it's coming. They know what to do about it. They now have the tools to navigate through that storm, because that's what it's going to feel like this summer, like some form of an energetic storm. It's all for everyone's highest good. It's really the universe coming, knocking at our doors, saying, you know what, dude? This and this in your life must go. We've been trying to tell you for years, months, weeks now, and now we're here to take it away from you. So that usually translates into tower moments, into losing stuff without really understanding why, or without warning. It comes up as a surprise. That could be very difficult to deal with. But if you've come far enough on your path, you deeply know that this is for your highest good. You truly know that there's something better coming, that this is all to make space for whatever needs to be, for your destiny. It's always the same principle, always the same pattern, always the same thing. You need to make space. So if you're able to do it on your own, consciously, go at it. Go for it. And good on you, because that's really hard work to do. If it comes to you as a surprise, take a step back and just analyze. Did you really like this thing? Did you really like this person? Sure, it hurts, but usually it's your ego that is hurt and unable to process these things. But when you connect to your heart or you connect with your higher self, you're being shown the truth. And we need to get ready for that and to prepare for that, because that's what's coming with the eclipses and with the summer coming. Or the winter, depending where you're at in the world. We're going to see spiritual manifestations coming to life, coming into people's lives during the summer. For a lot of people, it means changing careers, being realigned, receiving more information about their own mission and aligning to that, which could create some form of chaos, because it's not easy when we get these messages. We're like, okay, where do I start? What do I do next? And it's a trial and errors until we get it right. But yet again, life is trial and errors. If you only listen to whatever the universe is whispering to you, either through your dreams, through your mind, during waking hours, through your heart, through your senses, if you follow that, you can't go wrong, even though it might feel like you are on the wrong path. You are not. You will get the proper validation if you ask for it. So, for the divine feminine, she has been feeling, I say she, but I refer to the energy and not specifically to the physical manifestation or the body or a female or a male. I refer to it as the energy. She has been feeling everything that has been going on with the divine masculine on top of her own ascension symptoms. Lately, our bodies have been working super hard to adjust to the new energy out there, and it usually manifests with, weird stuff happening in your body. Being unable to sleep, waking up in the morning and feeling new day after day after day. This is coming from the divine masculine because of all these changes that they're working on and the releasing that they are working on. She's been also kind of detached from this journey and not really wanting to connect with the divine masculine. Also being unable to read the twin. So whenever that happens, that's always an indication that the shift is more important than you might think. That the shift going on at that time is deep, especially when it comes to past life stuff. The divine masculine is not used to going back into different lifetimes to understand what's going on in their lives right now. Like, it's not common. For a lot of them, they didn't believe in past lives. And now they're starting to, or they do believe in it, and they are interested into exploring those avenues. Whenever the divine masculine is doing that kind of work, it really does help the divine feminine, because if we look overall, like the divine feminine, for a lot of them, they've been working at this for years and years and years. And until not too long ago, they were saying, why am I doing this? Because I'm still at the same place. I'm still doing the same things. It doesn't feel like my life has changed that much. That's because there was a blockage on the divine masculine side. And now they're working on those blockages one at a time. And if you've been following me for a few months or a few years, you heard me say that before. I said it. It goes into, different layers. It's a process. It cannot happen overnight. It would be impossible. Our nervous system wouldn't be able to handle this. But if you look at your past week, let's say 5 to 7 days, look at how your waking hours were and your resting hours were, including sleeping time. You're probably noticing huge differences, yet you're unable to say what they are in detail. You just know that they're in, like this energy it's in my body, but I'm not sure what it's going to do next. So we're going to see that in June, in July, in August, after the eclipses, after, the next cycle of full moon and new moon. If you pay attention to what is going on at the late hours of the night, when you're not sleeping yet, but when you're not really active, you're just, contemplating or resting, watching TV or meditating or reading, pay attention to those thoughts. That's where the messages are these days. That's where the downloads happen these days. When you're not totally asleep and not totally awake, when you're like in between, in that gap of being conscious, unconscious, because that's where we physically are more receptive to whatever we need to receive. So again, surrendering is the easiest way to go through major changes like we are in right now. It could be painful. It can be painful to surrender because our ego may be fighting that change or that resting time that is being asked of us. But when we do surrender, it doesn't take that long to understand why we need it to just, let it happen. Let the flow of energy come to you. So now, the divine masculine is much more aligned with those spiritual concepts. They are working at understanding even more. They are interested into knowing more. They are interested into their own healing and ascension path, which is a huge difference. Because before they didn't care that much. They were totally closed off. Yeah, for some they were like super spiritual. But for most, they were closed off. They were still into the 3D material stuff. And this virus, this time where Earth was on confinement or resting, they were able to realize that they can just decide to let go. That they can just decide that the karmic has no influence on them anymore. That they hold the power and not them. Not something external of them, but the power within. So they basically claimed their own sovereignty. They claimed who they are. I was going to say personality, but I want to make sure that it goes beyond whatever physical and mental aspect. It goes beyond. They were able to truly connect with their higher selves and their soul and start this conversation or the exchange of information that they needed in order to move forward. So for a lot of people, it means like major changes coming in the next few months on all levels. It's impossible to name them all because it all depends on your individual journey and what you need at this time. But major step forward, major leap of faith of all kinds. And of course, when we go through phases like these, we get tired, especially when we don't sleep at night, but we get tired because our physical bodies are working like overtime to integrate all of this. So rest more. And when you do have energy, do your stuff. And when you're tired, just rest. When you can't sleep, just don't sleep. Do something else. Go with the flow. Stay present in this moment, the present moment, in order to be conscious of what you're receiving, or as much conscious as you can. The next phase of this journey is to see the manifestation of the twin flame energy on Earth. It really is. It is all about the split of consciousness, the two Earths, the new Earth and the old one. It's the event. It's what Dolores Cannon was talking about when she was talking about the split of the Earth. So if you are far along on your journey and you have chosen to be in the new Earth, you're most probably resonating with this. You're most probably already feeling what is coming for you. Even though you may be lacking some information, you may be missing some information. Perhaps you're asking very specific question about your own journey or your twin flame journey and you're not getting the answer back. It just means that you need to keep going forward. You just need to keep walking forward. You're just not meant to know at this point because it could probably change your decision-making process. It could probably change your awareness, and that's not the way the universe works. The universe delivers when you're ready to receive. That's why surrendering is so important, and removing all the blockages that are on the way, on your way, on our way, to collectively embody the twin flame energy. It starts with each person first. When one person is able to hold that balance within, it has a ripple effect on all other people. And the more people that are reaching that balance, the more twin flames are going to show up and manifest and work together, and so on and so on. So we have really great months to look forward to. We have a great summer to look forward to. even though that virus thing is not over yet, let's use the positive side of the current events. Let's focus on these positive things that were brought by this virus. It had its purpose. I mean, sure, a lot of people didn't see it coming, never expected things to manifest this way. But in the end, if the result is the one you want, who cares that we needed to stay home for 2 or 3 months? You know? So, yeah, the divine masculine shifting and reaching a level that we've never seen before. And for a lot of them, they are getting prepared to go back to work with this new attitude about themselves, about their work in itself, and about their colleagues or clients. They have a new outlook and mindset, and their ideas are a lot lighter, fresher, and they're much more open to spirituality as a whole, at large, but also spirituality that needs to be integrated in their daily lives. And that's awesome. That's great. So that's it for now. You can follow me on social media at Indigo Girl 555 on Instagram, Indigo Girls Readings on Facebook. You can reach out using my email at indigogirl555 at gmail.com. And until the next time, be well.